We're live now. Live. From the dive. We're live. Let's see if it shows up. Let me refresh. I think we're live. Pretty sure we're live now. Yes, we are. Just now. Good morning, mob. Hello. Hope everyone's doing well. Hello, Bradley. Good morning, Davina. How are you? Well, actually, good afternoon, Davina. Hello, Linda. Hope you're all doing well. I got a late start this morning around, I want to say 6 a.m. was my late start today. So let me just fix this. It looks a little off. Awesome. Hello, Ayrton. Good morning. Hello, Dan. Welcome. Matthew, good morning. Amanda, good morning. Heather, good morning. Dan, Mr. Awesome, good morning. Chris Mendoza, good morning. And hello to everyone on YouTube. So I want to make sure, because sometimes not that I forget, but in the midst of everything else, if you're watching this on YouTube, that's because Chris Mendoza has done a fantastic Technomancer job on YouTube. So our YouTube channel is awesome because of Chris. So if you're live on YouTube and you're watching us right now from wherever you are, that's because Chris has done an incredible job on our channel on YouTube. Good morning, Tanya. Hello. Good morning, Sarah. Welcome. I'm just gonna say good morning. You apply the time zone where you are, because it's morning still here. Good morning, Jenny. At 5, your dog got you up at 5. That is awesome. And you didn't have to work today. Well, you've had a long day already, which is great. Yeah, I got up at 6. I did some training and I did my walk, and so usually I'm up between 4:30, 4 and 5 o'clock. But you know, oh, my little Valkyrie wanted to say hello. Did you want to say hello, Z? Hello? Hello, Leslie. You have to show your face if you're gonna say hello. You can't just be a disembodied voice somewhere, because then I could just have your recording, you know? So come say hello. Come on this side. This side. Stick it. Okay. So, all right, so let me quickly go over our usual announcements, our commercial. And hello, Cynthia. Okay, let's see. Shout outs to the tribe. 2 of them are in class right now, and the other 3 are living their lives because they're older and they're adults and they're doing their things. But 2 of them are in class, and the youngest one, Z, is about to go into class right now. Let's see. Yes, you are? No? No. Okay. Okay. Let's see. And then if you're watching it live on YouTube, hello to everyone on YouTube. Hello, Paige. Good morning. Welcome. So if you're on YouTube, don't forget to follow, subscribe, and share. We have 1,300 people in the mob, and I think we have like 130 people on YouTube. So please follow, subscribe, and share. I know it's tough, but it just takes about 30 seconds to see the channel, click the subscribe button, and click the notification. It's the bell. And that's it. It doesn't take that long. So just do that real quick. Same thing with Instagram. If you have an Instagram channel, just look up Bitten Peaches and you'll see excerpts from the books or little quotes from the books. Follow us on Instagram as well. I didn't put that many up this week, but that's because I've been getting up at 4 something in the morning. So just getting up at 4 something in the morning was challenging because I haven't done it in a while, since pretty much the beginning of March and COVID. So now I'm really starting to just get back into the groove of it. Hello, Mandy. Welcome. Mark, good morning. You made it. Yay. Don't forget to visit our ZAZZLE store. We're going through our usual commercials. Don't forget to visit our ZAZZLE store. The link is in the mob. And you can pick up some swag, Monty and Strong swag, all kinds of swag. Oh, I got my mask. Check out my mask. This mask is awesome. It's my mask. That is one cool mask. So pick up your swag. You can get that from the ZAZZLE store. They have all kinds of stuff and skateboard decks. Let's see. All of our links, Death Wish discounts. Don't forget, JAVAMBROSIA is a 10% discount on Death Wish. Vest, thanks to Glenn Vest, who got us both the discount codes, is also a Death Wish discount. So VESTJAVAMBROSIA and JAVAMBROSIA give you 10% off of the Death Wish store online, except subscriptions. Let's see, the newsletter. I've been really neglecting the newsletter as of late, but we have a newsletter with about 5,000 people. You know, and I put out information there. So join the newsletter. Go to the website, give us your email, and I'll send you regular newsletters. There are some things that you'll learn that you may not pick up in the mob right away. It eventually makes it to the mob, but it's better to get in a newsletter because you get it right away. So please join the newsletter. Also, it increases the newsletter, which is awesome. And, you know, share and talk, and you can email me as opposed to just not FBing me, but you can actually email me also if you have other questions. Let's see, I have a note here. I'm also just repeating my shout out to Chris for being the ruler of the TNT, the Nexus of Technomancy. That's Dolly's notes. That's awesome. So thanks again, Chris, for the fantastic work you do on YouTube. We really, I really appreciate it, and the whole team, which consists of me, Dolly, the tribe, everyone, we really appreciate it. All right, so updates right away. Let me get into the updates because we got so much time. The Blood Rule box set is going to come out next week, I think. So if you've been waiting for the box set, I know some of you already have all 3 books at this point, but I know people who like to get box sets. So if you've been waiting for the box set, next week I'll release the box set for Blood Rule. Also, let me know how the quality sounds and how the video is. If it's breaking up or if the sound isn't too, you know, if it doesn't come clear, let me know. So the Blood Rule box that comes out next week. Walking the Razor. I'm at 40K, and I think I'm about halfway. So this book I think is going to be really long because at 40K I'm usually looking at the end. Right now, 40K, I'm about halfway. So it looks like I'm going to have to do some crazy writing between now and when I think the book is going to be done, or crazier writing because it's got to be done by a certain date because it has a deadline. So 40K is about halfway. So it's going to be nice and robust, this book. Next week, I will reveal the cover for They Bite, which is the secret story. And so, hello Audrey. It's the secret story that I've been working on simultaneously with Walking the Razor. So that's a novella type story. That one is going to have its art, but it's not going to release until all 3 books are out. So I learned my lesson with the rule of the council. All 3 books are going to be done. It's going to have an art each one, but they're not going to be released until all 3 books out. Unlike Walking the Razor, which will have its art and then it gets edited and then it gets released. The They Bite, which are Nixia White stories, are going to all 3 be written, and then all 3 will be released probably like 1 week apart from each other, kind of like a rapid release kind of thing. Let's see. Hello Laura. Make sure if I missed you, I apologize. The feed goes fast on the phone, and I even have Facebook open, but it just goes really fast. So I apologize if I've missed you, and welcome if I haven't said hello to you. Know that I welcome you. Audiobooks, book 7 is going to be the end of November. I already got the 15 minutes for book 8, if I'm not mistaken. So I have to look at that. We listen to that, approve it, send it back. I got some pronunciation things to go over with the narrator. And because I look at the words that he gives me and say, wow, how did I even put that in the book? But apparently I did. So I gave him the pronunciations for some words, because when you write, you don't really think so much about how the words sound, at least personally. But as a narrator, it's a whole different way of doing things. So it's like he has to think about how these words sound because he has to say them over and over. So there you go. So I had to give him he gives me a whole list of words like, how do you say this? And so I had to kind of phonetically, it's not really true phonetics, it's more like my phonetics and give him how the words sound. So I did that with him last week. He does that. He starts doing his recording, and then we start getting the initial first minutes. We look at that, and then he does the whole thing, and then we go over that. And it's just a long process for audiobooks. But book 7 should be out in November, which is awesome. I was speaking with Chris and Dolly, and I'm gonna start doing these little moments of Zen, which are not like the mob TV. It's basically just thoughts and things while I'm doing other things. Like maybe if I'm on my walk in the morning at 4 something in the morning, and I want to kind of pop in and share some thoughts with you, I'm gonna start trying to do those. They'll be short, like 10 minutes, and we're not gonna have a back and forth. It's just kind of me sharing observations, thoughts, things like that. So just be prepared. It's like a flash mob type of thing, where I'm just gonna be, hey, good morning, it's 4:30 in the morning, I'm walking, this is the 2nd mile, just wanted to share a thought with you. It's 10 minutes long. I don't think it'll be longer than 10 minutes. It might be shorter, and I'll just kind of share some observations that I've had. So little moments of Zen. So right after walking the razor, sepia blue. There was a post earlier today about when do you know when to call it quits, and sepia blue still has 2 books. So as long as I can write, those books get done. Okay, so I have to do those 2 books. They're going to be done one right after the other, and then jump into Night Warden, and then we jump back into now I won't say continuation, but the next phase of the story for Monty and Strong. And yes, Davina, it's more like a video diary than a chat. It's not. There's no back and forth. It's basically me just sharing ideas. So some really quick things, and I'll say these again later on. Alex Polak has his book, Magic Unveiled. It came out recently. I believe the 15th is when we got it in Kindle. Get your copy if you haven't gotten it already, so please get it. It's his first book. He's a mob author now. And so, yeah, we really want to support him, so please get that copy. Also, Noah's working on a kind of an anthology he has these fantastic authors that he managed to get to contribute to this anthology. It's a humor anthology. I don't know if I can say much more than that, because I think he's still getting authors, right? So once that's really finalized, excuse me, then we'll promote it even more. But Noah's been doing a lot of heavy lifting on that one, because he's the editor. So he's getting all these authors, he's getting it together, and then he's going to get this whole thing out. I believe it's called, I won't even give the name away yet because I haven't spoken to Noah. Just know that he's working on an anthology. It's a humor anthology. If you want to, and you can write a short story in about a week, contact Noah. Other than that, I think it's going to come out really soon, like next month, really soon. So as you know, hold on, let me see. Yes, Chris made mention. He has Piers Anthony on board. So if you know the Xanth stories, that's who Piers Anthony is. So this is going to be a huge thing. So it's kudos to Noah. What does page say? What does page say? Hunter Blaine included. Tecatlipoca. Oh, it's one of these old Incan or Aztec names. For Luke, yeah, those names would make anyone stumble. It's even Luke Daniels, because some of those Aztec names are tough. I think Dolly is back. Say hello, Dolly.
Hello, Dolly.
Hello, Dolly. Put your face in here. Or do I have to turn the phone? You're not going to put your face in? No? Come
I
here.
stick my face.
Alright, I'm turning the phone.
It's fine.
Say hello. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Dolly. Alright. So that's what I do with the narrator. And okay, so you guys know I'm training again. If you want to kind of hang out with me and join me, I'm getting up every day, so there are no days off. I do something every day. And it's either kettlebell lifting, which is Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Walking is every day. I'm walking with the warrior. So I do my walk in the morning, then I come back and I pick him up. He's sleeping and I say, come on, let's go. We got to go. And we do another mile together walking. So it's been really awesome. So if you guys want to start something and kind of document and we can do this together, I kind of always leave something on Instagram in the morning. It's usually me and my really grumpy looking face, or just the time. So let me know if you guys want to jump in on that with me. Okay, so that's basically it. I think that's all the stuff we've been discussing. So your questions and how you guys doing, and how's everything going, and how are you guys coping with the virus, and how is life, basically. Talk to me as I drink some coffee. And tell Ayrton I said hello, Ayrton. Larry, hello. Larry's on YouTube. Hello, Larry. Let us know how it's looking on YouTube. Yeah, for him it's early morning. If it's the Larry I know, because he's like 3 hours behind us, so it's still really early. He says, my role-playing group are now followers of Dog and generals in the army of Dog. Hail Dog. Oh, that's awesome. Fantastic. Yeah, so... Ooh. Really, Alicia? So they try to get in now. Oh, is it because the weather is changing? So how do you deal with that? Wow. Life needs more caffeine for us to... Yes, life. You could always use a little bit more caffeine, Tammy, for sure. Jenny, what is the interview for? That sounds awesome. Jenny says she has an interview this afternoon. We wish you all the luck, Jenny. Yeah, Chris, I'm surprised Larry's awake at this hour for sure. John asks, how about having Monty and Strong hooking up with Yeti, Bigfoot, or Sasquatch? Too many authors have done that. I don't know. We'll see. I like to have them go into the American wilderness, but we'll see. It's a whole different thing because they're basically urban characters, but it's possible. I won't say no to anything. Anything is possible. Tammy says there can be no other Larry. He sounds like the Highlander. Lisa says lots of pet safe traps and looking around the outside of the house to see if anything needs to... Right, because you want to eliminate any entry points. So it's perimeter security, basically. Yeah. Jenny says she's going for a new counseling position to change practices. Good luck, Jenny. I hope you do really well. And I hope the interview goes really well and you get the position. Cynthia, yes, a skinwalker. Yeah, I don't know if we're going to... Skinwalker I definitely can't do because that's Jim Butcher. So... And that would create an uproar. So I'd have to call it something else and maybe go back into the mythos of that. Or Wendigo who got lost. See, but that would be more fun because now it'd be more like a Wendigo that got lost and then they're trying to get him back into the forest or something like that. Like a Wendigo that ended up in a city and then trying to get him back into where he belongs, into his native habitat. Tell everyone on YouTube, thank you for the feedback. Awesome. Yeah, Skinwalkers, we can't really do that because Skinwalkers, Jim Butcher's really made those really popular. So you do it now and it's like, oh, you're just copying Jim. And there are too many original ideas. So Robert, good morning. Thank you for joining us. Too many original ideas to use ideas that another author has used in the same way. You have to be original. Let's see, how about some British creatures? Yeah, John, there's so many different creatures, so many different mythos. If you look at what Mel shares with us all the time, there are plenty of ideas in all of that that you can take and adapt to a story. So you don't have to limit yourself to any particular mythos. And you, like I've done, you can actually mix and match some mythos too. Like I have Greek gods and I have Valkyrie, so I have Norse and Greek and Indian. So you can have all Hindu, you have all different kinds of gods and mythos and stories mixed up. It's just if you're willing to do the homework, because that requires a lot of reading. Davina says an evolved version of something that has adapted to urban. Yeah, that's awesome. An evolved anything and that's living in an urban environment that wants to go back and bumps into Monty and Strong, or actually seeks out Monty and Strong and says, listen, I need to get back and I need your help. See, that's a great story right there. Ayrton says in an Edmontosaurolophobus. Yeah, okay. I can barely say that, Ayrton. That would be tough because I'd have to type it. So Simon would have to have a nickname for something like that, like an Ed. Ooh, a Filipino monster. There's a bunch of every country and every culture has creatures and mythos that could be tapped into. So there you go. The Jersey Devil, John. Yeah, sure. Jenny says I can remember the name, but it flies around as half a body. Yeah, that sounds like a little bit darker than Monty and Strong, but it's something that can be worked with for sure. Let's see. Edmontosaurus and a Parasaurolophus. Okay, yeah. Again, even mixing those two together would be a mouthful. And typing that out would be, no. So it'd have to be something shorter, for sure. But like I said, there's a bunch of mythos and creatures that can be tapped into. And this feeds into that post of, when do you know it's time to stop a series? If you're really enjoying the story, there's always more subject matter. You just have to kind of be creative, you know. I think what happens is a lot of writers, and I can only speak from writers, I can't speak from the other creatives. What a lot of writers do is that they get bored or they get tired of writing the same thing, and they don't look past whatever parameters they've set for themselves. So then they find themselves repeating. And after a while, they say, okay, I don't want to write this anymore because it's boring. And if a writer is bored, you better believe that the reader is going to be bored, because you can pick up on that right away. If the writer doesn't have an excitement about the story and it just feels rote, and the writer is just kind of, farming it in or dialing it in, it's going to come across in the story. And the reader's going to be like, yeah, this book was, it's kind of lackluster, Let's see, Pacific Island Gods. Oh yeah, there are plenty of Pacific Island Gods. Even though Disney has done Moana to death and things like that, but there's still so many Pacific Island Gods that haven't been touched. So yes. Mothman. Yeah, Mothman was mentioned in Supernatural later on. I'm not up to that point. Jenny says she loves the show Monstrum on PBS. It has a lot of interesting monsters. Yeah, things like that. There's a lot of material and content that if you're looking for something to write about, there's always something to write about. Like, I never have enough, I've written about everything with Monty and Strong. There's just so much, Yeah, Simon would probably call it Eddie Monster, for sure. Because he would never call it that entire name. That's just not Simon's way of being. That's not his temperament. He calls Tristan Monty because he doesn't want to say Tristan. So there you go. Granted, he's the only one that's allowed to call Tristan Monty, but still. He could call him Tris, but then that sounds different. I don't think Tristan would go for Tris. Monty wouldn't let him call him Tris. And he's not going to call him Montague. So, it just says a micro. A greeny black bird with 2 wings that eats caterpillars and worms. Well, there you go. It's a bird he invented. That's awesome. I'm waiting for Ayrton to write his stories. I'll give him a few years. Then you get started. But write those stories, Ayrton. Because the imagination is there. For sure. What didn't you do, Chris? I know the Jersey Devil was your story. What didn't you do? I'm sure it's fast. With a name like Micro and written by someone named Ayrton, I'm sure it's fast. Oh, yeah. No one else. If you haven't noticed, so Chris says I didn't realize that Simon's the only one to call him Monty. If you've read all the stories, the only person that calls Tristan Monty is Simon. And if you look in No God is Safe is where that starts. He's not going to call him Montague, and he's not going to call him Tristan. He calls him Monty. And he's the only one. Hello, Sharon, and welcome. Yeah, I can't wait for Ayrton to write his stories. We have a lot of budding authors. I have a lot of budding authors in my orbit. Out of the tribe, I think there's about two that can start writing stories soon. So here we go. We just got to get them. Just got to nudge. But yes, and it's also because it's Simon's temperament to call him Monty. So there you go. See, something you learned today, Chris. That's pretty awesome. Well, he can be an author illustrator. So yeah. Davina says that Ayrton is an author-strator because he's an author and an illustrator. So definitely, yeah, take some pictures and send them to me, please. Laura says it's hard to keep track of. What's hard to keep track of, Laura? Share, elaborate. And good afternoon, Sharon, if I didn't say good afternoon. Yeah, I believe that the lockdown has been good for Dan's movie collection because there's a lot more reading and movie watching going on right now because you can't go out as much. So that's what's happening. Laura says, "Oh, all the new authors are hard to keep track of." Well, there are a lot of new authors that are coming into the mob. We've always had authors in the mob because the mob is that kind of a place, and now there's some new authors starting, which is awesome. And we have a lot of little ones that are growing, and like Ayrton, I have 2 in my tribe that are starting. So yeah, it's like that. And Simon Irreverent, who knew? Yeah, he's never gonna buck to convention. So, I mean, he's the one that smart mouths gods. So, calling Tristan Monty is not so much of a stretch. But that's just the way he is, you know. Chris says Dan is trawling through his collection. Yeah. What's happening now, what I'm really excited to see is all the authors that are taking on writing now during this pandemic, during the quarantine, and they're starting and they're in the mob, which is fantastic. So we support those authors, and we support anyone who wants to kind of start this creative endeavor. It's not easy, so all the support you can get is a good thing. So congratulations to the new authors, and if you're an aspiring author, don't aspire too long. Just start writing and get all the hard parts done and out, and then you can start polishing. So, but don't aspire. Don't just stay as an aspiring writer. Aspiring is just living in a fantasy, you know? And it's better to get it done. And even if it sucks in the beginning, as people say, at least you have something that you can work with. Tammy says, that's like saying TK is a bit cross. Yeah, just a slightly cross. So we'll see. Davina says, we'll know the energy signature thing is serious and that Simon is really sick if he starts taking things seriously and calling power plays by their real names. Yeah, he's making a serious transition. Right now, even where he is right now, he is making a serious transition. Not so much to that extent, but yeah, in recognizing power. Yeah. And he had a great little run-in with a new character that we'll see later on, and Sid Rat, and the box that he got from Sid. Well, it's not that TK is cross, it's just that you don't want to cross her, and she is in a perpetual I will rip your face off mood. But that's also because she has to be. And there's a reason behind that. Once I get into the 10, you'll see why TK is TK. I can't really explain it now because it would give too much away. But she didn't start out that way. She had to become that way. And then she remained that way because it's what's safer for the people around her, for her to be that way. It sounds a little paradoxical, but it really is safer for her to be that way. Like if you see the interaction that she had with Jessica, you know, the default is that she could have just blasted Jessica to bits, but she didn't, which is, you know, I would say restraint. Yeah. Davina says, I generally agree with TK, and this is slightly worrying for me. You know what's really worrying is that I write TK, and then I speak to the person who inspired TK, and they're almost identical, and that's scary, Davina. So there you go. That's even more worrying. So there you go. Yeah, TK is a very interesting character, along with LD. LD, if TK is dangerous, you have to think, how dangerous is LD that he's with her? Because he comes off as kind of the more laid back one, but he might actually be more dangerous than TK, because TK, it's right in your face, it's up front. LD is a little bit more guarded and reserved, but you know, the old saying is worry about the current under the river, not about the rough part on top, but the undercurrents. LD is that. So it might actually be that TK keeps LD okay. So, and how can LD? Chris says, and how can LD still smile? Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, what happens is Audrey, because Audrey says TK has no time for fools. She's very, very direct about that kind of thing, and LD is a little bit more, kind of, I don't want to say political, but he's more understanding in terms of that. And she's like, no, I don't have time for this. You know? Yeah. See, Davina has it right there. Davina says, I've seen that idea used before. Do one really horrible thing, get a rep for being a psycho, and it puts people off attacking. The thing with TK is that she's done more than one really horrible thing. The rep is well earned, and it still keeps people from attacking her. Yeah. Larry says, I sleep next to TK. Yeah, you do. And there you go. And you're still here. So there you go. So that says a lot. It says a lot for TK's restraint, and it says a lot for who you are as a person. So Glenn asks, does the quiet ones are dangerous mean the noisy ones are not dangerous? No, it just means that you hear the noisy ones coming. You don't hear the quiet ones coming. You see, that's what makes them even more dangerous. The noisy ones can still be dangerous, but the quiet ones are even more because you don't hear them coming. Tammy says he sasses TK, you know he's saying, yeah, I mean, if you take your life into your hands like that, you've got to be dangerous. You got to be able to back that up. Joy, welcome. Diane, welcome. Darina says, nah, it just means you have time to run. Basically, yeah. And yes, Glenn, that does sound like them because it's very much. If you ever meet those two, it's very much like that, for sure. Yeah. So that's basically what's happening with Simon right now. I don't want to say too much because it'll give away. And someone made that mention of like, wow, if you keep putting out these snippets, we're gonna have the entire book. Understand the book is like up to chapter 22 right now, and I'm only like halfway through, and I've only released up to chapter 3 in the snippets. I don't usually release that much in the snippets, but when the book is this long, even that little part that I've released, it doesn't even begin to touch what's happening in the book. So don't despair. Yeah. Jenny says, don't run, you'll only die tired. Seen on a t-shirt. Yeah, there you go. And Larry says, TK, all of the horrible things. Listen, there's a reason why those characters are everywhere. So Davina says, my attitude to characters like TK are why my husband says he wouldn't trust me with actual power. It's more your affinity, Davina, because you guys would be scary with that kind of power. Glenn wants to know, so when is the book coming? Well, Glenn, the art for Walking the Razor is going to be the middle of November. And then from whatever that art starts, it's about a week after that. And then it goes to another edit phase, and then it's out. So I'm looking at the beginning of December, I think. So you got like 1 more month to wait, and then it's out. But it's not really a month because it's really like half a month. It goes to the art, then it gets shredded, then it goes again for edits, then it gets shredded. So yeah, about a month. Sarah wants to know, can Ink and Peaches communicate with each other? No. Ink is a very different kind of being from Peaches. And you'll see why later on. So they will not be able to communicate with each other. And the bond that Ink has with Jessica is kind of like the bond that Peaches has with Simon. So there's no cross communicating that way. Yes, Glenn, definitely before Christmas, for sure. Definitely. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh wait, somebody said something about Blackjack. Hold on. Dan Fan wants to know when you will return to Black. Oh, let's see. Oh my God. I have to do the reschedule. I have to redo the schedule for 2021, and nothing gets done before Sepia. So Sepia has to get finished, and then I'm not even looking at any of the story really until Sepia gets finished, because it gets started this year. I think the next book gets done so Sepia has to get done first, and then I can start looking at the tangents like Blackjacks and things like that, Assassin's Apprentice, things like Decons and Magical Nulls, all those other little side stories. So I can't even look at anything else until the Sepia series gets done. And pentologies are rough to do, for sure. I don't know why I started with pentologies. So trilogies are much easier to do, I think. But that's the case. So yeah, definitely a Christmas gift, Glenn. I don't think I'm going to be doing a short story this year like I did of Saving Mr. K. But we'll see. I like Saving Mr. K was a lot of fun to do, and it was definitely a Christmassy thing. So we'll see. That also falls into I have to get a cover for it in time for Christmas, and it's already November, and my designer is slammed, and they go on vacation in December. So I don't really have a Christmas story in mind. But if something comes up and I get really inspired real quick, then I'll jump into something for Christmas too. Bradley says, please make Blackjack the first tangent. Blackjacks are a lot of fun. Yeah, Bradley, I mean, they are a lot. I like writing the Blackjacks because it's sci-fi, because it's different, and it's kind of like Firefly and Farscape and every sci-fi story movie that I've seen kind of smashed together with some magic. It's all in there. So yes. Peggy, hi Peggy, welcome. Davina says we still need to resolve the sorcerer thing. I don't know what is the sorcerer thing, Davina? Tell me, and let's resolve it. Tammy says because if Sepia doesn't get done, O gets to face torture. Yes, no, serious. Sepia needs to get done. No, this is like no joke. This is serious. So Sepia, yeah, Sepia needs to get done for real. Or as one of my little ones says, for reals. For reals, okay? So yeah, Sepia there's no joke. The only thing that I have to consider with Sepia is it going to be third person or first person. That's it. But it's unequivocal that it needs to get done. It has to happen. So we'll see. We'll see how I do it. But as for it getting done, yeah, that can't not happen. As it's can't have that hiccup for sure. And I don't want to face torches and pitchforks either. So there you go. So what's the sorcerer thing we need to resolve, Davina? And yes, Joe, I love Firefly too. And Nathan Fillion, if you ever played Destiny, Nathan Fillion does the voice of Cade, which is awesome. Let's see. Chris says, interesting. My hot rod car had blackjack headers way back in the day. Everything's connected. We shouldn't be surprised by anything at this point, Chris. Glenn, I have some death wishing for you, and take care and do some work. Have a great weekend. Oh, yes, Davina. So Ayrton, well, let's do the first. Ayrton always says for reals. Yeah, my little one always says for reals. And Monty did something that only can be done by a sorcerer, and he did it. Yes, we'll resolve that later on. Not now. Not during Walking the Razor, but later on. Because there's more stuff that's going to happen to Monty. Dan says Warriors of the Way was awesome. Dan, I am never going back to Warriors of the Way. I'm sorry. Except maybe for Silk. Because Silk... Yeah, maybe for Silk. Silk makes an appearance later on in the Monty and Strong world. That's all I can say. Hello, Karen. Yes, I love Firefly. Firefly is awesome. I can't believe it got canceled. I don't understand why. I still don't understand why. But yeah. But yeah, Nathan Fillion from Firefly. And the woman who was the pilot. I forgot her name. They're both in the game of Destiny. One plays Cade, which is a hunter, and the other one plays Ikora, which is a warlock. She plays Ikora and he plays Cade. They do the voices for those characters. So it's pretty awesome. I'm having a great day, Karen. Like I said, my day started late today at 6, but yeah. Everything being connected, I'm wearing my efficient... Yeah, see, everything is connected. Everything. Oh yeah! In the spirit of everything being connected. So you know the ink that I have, right? That I have a Dragonfly. And that it's in the Warden, Night Warden world, and Tammy made this one-of-a-kind bag that's ridiculously awesome. Two of the Valkyries came back with these awesome Dragonfly pendants. One has a Dragonfly pendant, and one has Dragonfly earrings. which is fantastic and completely unprompted. It just, these things are connected. They happen.
My mom bought it.
Because their mom bought it.
No, my mom.
Really? Your mom bought it? Oh, and she didn't know. She doesn't know about Night Warden. Yeah, so these things happen. It's everything is connected. The Dragonfly seems to be something that's very prevalent. Yeah. Let's see. So Darina says, when I looked up where Joss Whedon was planning on going on some Firefly, what is he doing with Firefly stuff? I didn't think he was still doing it. Linda says, silk from the PPD. No, not that silk. It's the silk from Warriors of the Way, Linda. Yeah, we're shining for sure. There's so much from that show that has made it into the lexicon. So yes. I didn't know that Joss Whedon was going to continue with Firefly. So I hope if he's going to, he does it. Mark says, what's the significance of the Dragonfly and the Night Warden? I can't share just yet, Mark, because it ties into the next few stories. It totally gets revealed over time. It's not like the Endless Knot that Simon has. It's a little deeper significance. But it's also the nickname that Gray is known as, the Dragonfly. So there's a lot in there. He's still not, so Joss is still not doing it, but he had a plan for a bunch of stuff, and he revealed it, and there's some graphic novels. I just hope he would someday get to it. Yeah, it's not the silk from the PPD. It's the silk from the Warriors of the Way. Have you read Warriors of the Way, which are the first 5 books that I've written? Silk is a character there. So Jenny says, the Dragonfly is a harbinger of the dead in some mythologies. Yeah, there's a lot of significance to the Dragonfly. Not just the harbinger of the dead. There's a lot of significance. It's really deep, especially in some cultures, in some mythologies. It's really profound. So there you go. I really do wish Josh would get to do something with that, but it's hard because to get all the actors back, it would be hard to do it. Dan says, Silk is the man. Yes, Silk is an awesome character. And he's going to make an appearance in Monty and Strong, but not for a while. Monty and Strong are heading up to like an Avengers type event in about 8-9 books. So, got a little bit of a wait. So yeah, there you go. Just be patient. And like Doug was at, Doug wanted to know where I get the ideas, and I got the idea that someone asked Neil Gaiman the same question. He says he goes to this little shop, the little idea shop, where he gets all the fresh ideas. So I go to Neil Gaiman's idea shop, and I get all my ideas from him. So they're all fresh, they're baked every morning, and he just gives me the idea. So there you go. So the ideas come, and I'll try to get them in there and make sure that they kind of align with the story. So yeah. So let's see. No teasing, Chris. No spoilers. The new story that's coming out, which is Day Bite, is going to be a lot of fun. A little darker. I don't want to say it's grim dark, but it's darker, and that's going to be fun. And I'm in the middle of that. That's almost the first one, because it's kind of being done like the Rule of the Council. That first one's almost done too, and the arts will almost be simultaneous. So that'll be fun. You'll have an art for Day Bite, and you'll have the art for Walking the Razor. But only Walking the Razor is going to be released, and Day Bite, you'll have the art, but then I'll write the rest of the stories. All right, Jenny says she's gotta go pretend I know what I'm doing for a while. Take care. Good luck on your interview, Jenny. Hope you get the position. We'll wish you a lot of luck. Have a great weekend. Oh, Karen, great. Thank you for all the retweets. Whatever you're retweeting, if it's related to us or Chris, thank you, Karen. Really appreciate it. So we have about 15 minutes. So let's get into questions real quick. So I can tackle them with some time. All right, so again, from our question queen, Audrey, you guys can ask questions, but Audrey has been cornering the market on questions. Her first question is, what was your hardest scene to write? Peaches' death. When, oh jeez, I want to say Silver Clouds, Dirty Skies. If you haven't read up until then, I don't want to spoil it for you. But Peaches' death was the hardest to write because as I was writing it, I knew on a deep level that this was not going to fly. I knew it. I said, I'll make it work. But there's no way he can stay dead. It just can't. Peaches is such an instrumental character to the Monty and Strong world. And people just say, but he's just a hellhound. But he's such an instrumental character, but there's no way that the stories can work without Peaches. And it didn't start out that way. But what Peaches does is that he humanizes Simon. And that's so important. And so even though it's weird, because even though he's a hellhound, he humanizes Simon. And there's no way, when I wrote the scene, I was like, yeah, there's gotta be a way I gotta bring him back. And it took a while. That one took a few days to write, complete the scene, and then find a way to bring him back. That whole scene took about a week just to be able to write the scene to a degree that it's acceptable and pisses everyone off, and then write the scene that brings him back. So that was the hardest scene for me to write. Yeah, that one. Hello Malcolm, good afternoon. Let's see, I missed some things. Yeah, Davina for sure. Yeah, that was like, and then I did it again, but the second time I did it, you guys already knew, and it was like, yeah, right, sure. But the second time I did it, there was a lead up into what it was, and you already knew that it was not going to happen. That this was something else. I don't want to give it away because there are people who may not have gotten to that point. But the second time that happened, you already knew it was a lead up. Like, oh no. Hello, Mike. Yeah, I know. I said just a hellhound, but there's only one hellhound, and he's awesome, and it's Peaches. But he's the one that humanizes Simon, as strange as that may sound. All right, the next question. What is the first book that made you really sad? Wow, Audrey, these are really great questions. Let's see. The first book that made me really sad that I can recall. I think the first book that made me really sad was The Sword of Shannara. And it didn't make me sad because of the story. It made me sad because it was so good that when I finished it, I was sad that it was done. So that made me sad. I haven't read a book that actually makes me sad in the content of the book. But sometimes you read a book and you just don't want it to end. And then you find yourself getting near the end and you're like, oh no, it's almost done. And you slow down and you don't read it, as much, or you don't read it as fast. Like the last two Dresden books, I read each book in a day. Literally one day for each book. I started in the morning and I was done in the evening. And then I was like, if I wanted to say a book that made me sad, if you read Battleground, that's all I have to say. Read Battleground and you'll see why. That one made me sad, yeah. Let's see. Audrey's last question is, do you think someone could be a writer if they don't feel emotion strongly? Wow, that's a tough one. I think anyone can be a writer. But to convey believable characters, you have to be able to feel strong emotions. Mike, hello. I think that's how it works. In order to get characters that come across as real, you have to be able to feel real sadness, real grief, real anger, real joy, happiness, all of those things. So yeah. All right, so let's see. I hope those are the questions that you have. If you have any question, please ask now. Let's see. I have more questions. I have more comments here. Let's see. We joke behind the curtain and Monty and Simon, right? Yeah, Peaches has saved their butts a few times, or has made it so they can recover enough to save themselves. So Peaches is pretty awesome. Dan Fong says the Green Mile ending was really sad. Yeah, it was really sad. Yeah, and that was a short story by Stephen King, but the ending was sad. Yeah. Terry Brooks released, what did he release? He released a Shannara book, I think, recently. His last book in the Shannara series on Tuesday. Is it the last book ever in the Shannara series, Mark? Or is it the latest book, as Malcolm is asking? It's the formal ending. Wow. That book has been around, that series has been around most of my life. So that's kind of, yeah, that's amazing. And I think they even did a show on the Shannara series. So I'm surprised that he finished it off, because he was doing spin-offs left and right. Ayrton wants to know, do I like dinosaurs? Yeah, I like dinosaurs. I don't know the names anymore. When I was probably about his age, a little older, I used to know all the names, but I don't remember the names anymore. Bradley says the last Druid is the last one in the series. Yeah, I couldn't go back to that series now, because it's just so much that I'd have to start at the Sword of Shannara and then go through all the books, and it's an immense amount of books right now. I could, but I'd have to really carve out the time for it. See, the Once and Future King was incredible. Yeah, books like that I can see, because those are like evergreen. Let's see. Sharon asks, "What is the best film adaptation you have seen from a book that you've loved?" It's hard. It's hard because Sharon, it's just the movie never really lives up to the movie in your mind. So it's really hard. I have yet to see a film adaptation that lives up to the movie that I created in my mind about a book. So it's hard. Alex says, "Thank you for the shout out. You rock." Yes, Alex, man, that's what we do. We support our mob authors for sure, and other authors too, but definitely our mob authors. Welcome, Alex. I didn't see the Shannara TV series because for me, the Sword of Shannara, and I read a lot of Shannara. For me, what I have in my mind, I know that we're going to be able to capture it in a series. So I didn't go there. Yeah. Bradley says, "Yeah, I'm getting ready to start a reread of the Shannara series so I can read the last two." That's really what you have to do at this point, because there's so many books and so many tangents. And Al-Anon, geez, I still remember some of the character names. It's just I have to start at the beginning, and the first book is like 800 pages long, so it would be a long read. Cynthia says, "I posted yesterday about the last book that made me sad enough to cry, and I won't say why in case someone have not read it yet." Which book was it though? Is it the book that we're discussing, or was it a different book? You could mention the book, Cynthia. You don't have to mention what made you so sad. Oh, unless you're talking about Battleground, then you can't mention what made you sad, because that would spoil it for too many people who may not have read it. But you could say it was this book for sure. You know, as we say, words have power, right? And so authors, and this ties into kind of to like Audrey's question about being able to feel strong emotion. To have that kind of ability to write a scene that impacts readers, and I know a lot of people were upset with Battleground. To be able to do that, Jim has to be able to feel that and be able to, do that. So Tammy says, "It's hard. There's some books I've fallen out of love with, too much work to read, and my sanity is strictly rationed." Yeah, it does happen. And that ties into that other question of when books come in a year, 2 years, 3 years later, it's hard to reconnect with the characters and feel something for the characters because it's been so long, So that's why when you take that long to write, you kind of lose readers that way, because it takes too long for the reader to reconnect. It's like what I just said. In order for me to read the last book of Shannara, I'd have to go back and read the Sword of Shannara just to get kind of reacquainted with all the characters. Patricia says, "Battleground definitely made me sad." Yeah, same here. And Davina says, "Sanity is overrated." Well, in the mob, yes, this is true. Laura, I hope you're enjoying Peace Talks. Remember what I told you? Peace Talks is actually half a book, even though it's a full-length book. But I'm saying it's Peace Talks and Battleground are one book. So you want to read one and then read the other one right afterwards. And yeah, Chris, I was mentioning this to Dolly the other day about one of my reviews. The reviewer, and I don't really read reviews, but this one made me laugh. reviewer was upset that she was gonna have to wait months for the next book after Dark Glass. And I know I've mentioned this before, and just like you, I remember waiting a year or two between books. You know, and that was the way it was, you know. Sharon says, I'm always sad when I finish one of your books. I just want it to be a never-ending story. I tend to read them fast because I want to know what is going to happen, and then get sad because it's finished. That's just a natural thing, I think, when we read stories about characters that we enjoy. I think that's the natural reaction, that we get sad at the end, you know? But I'll keep writing if you keep reading. So there you go. And like I said earlier, I'm going to have to start sharing with some of my tribe so that when I can't write any longer in about 300-400 years, then they can pick up where I leave off. Davina says, tried it once, didn't work out, never again. What did you try, Davina? I'm missing the conversation, sorry. But something is rated. Okay. So that's the case with a lot of issues in terms of books that are characters that you love, but then if the author takes too long, it's like you have to get to know the characters again. That's what happens. So that's why you see a lot of authors do not take long between books, because we want to make sure that the characters stay present in your lives. Yeah. Oh, Sanity. You tried Sanity once. Yeah, it is overrated. We don't do Sanity that much. Yeah, Chris, I mean, I'm kind of in both camps with rapid release. For me, and I guess my generation, we grew up having to wait, right? So rapid release is not the norm for me. I mean, I can release rapidly. I can release so rapid that it affects the quality of the books. But I can release rapid. The way I release now is considered rapid, right? There's even faster, like every 2 weeks, people release books. But I grew up waiting a year, 2 years for a book. So it's like that. Darren says, I need to read more Shannara, but some Orlando's books keep getting away. I'm sorry, Darren. Not sorry. Patricia says, oh my God, George R.R. Martin. Yeah, see, I mean, that's a long time. Like Patrick Rothfuss, that's a long time. And readers move on. That's just what happens. And it is a different world for writers and readers now, Chris, because writers write faster and they don't have to wait for publishing houses to get the books out in a year or 2 years, so they can write at their pace. Some will take a year. I just picked up a book the other day. I'll definitely L3 it. It's about a school of magic. She released a book this year, and the next book doesn't come out till 2021, and it doesn't faze me at all because I'm used to that. But for some other people, that would be a turnoff. They're going to be like, no, I'm not going to wait a year for another book. So rapid release has changed the sensibility of a lot of readers, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, and Tammy, that's what happened with Robert Jordan. Someone mentioned Robert Jordan. Yeah, Tammy. Robert Jordan was in the middle or near the end of the Wheel of Time, and he passed away. And Brandon Sanderson had to come in and finish the series. He probably did a good job. I never read the Wheel of Time, but it's not the same as having the original author finish the story. No one is going to finish the story the way the original author intended. No one. That's just the way it is. It doesn't matter how good the author is. No one can write for the original author. And so when Robert Jordan passed, you have to find someone who was similar to him, but no one's going to be exact. No one's going to be identical to him. And that's, that makes readers wary. That's like the whole thing that's happening with Patrick Rothfuss or G.R. or Grimm, or, it's like, ooh, I've been waiting 10 years and he hasn't done another book. What's going to happen, And so people shy away from that. Because you make an investment of yourself, of your time, of your energy. You get to know these characters. And then a 10-year hiatus or a 5-year hiatus, that's a long time. Even with Butcher, we waited 5 years for Peace Talks. It was worth the wait. But 5 years is a long time. And the good thing is that he did Peace Talks and Battleground together. So it was 5 years and then a few months. And that's okay. But if it had been 5 years and then another 5 years between Peace Talks and Battleground, you'd have a lot of upset Harry Dresden fans. A lot. Let's see. Davina says, how many years did we live? Oh, man. Clan of the Cave. I read that whole series. It was an epic wait, Cynthia. Forever. It took forever. It's like, I grew up by the time she got through those books. Yeah, I mean I grew up. I literally grew older. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, no one else can write like the actual author. Correct, Davina. As proven by the Game of Thrones show writers when they ran out of source material. Right. They passed the books, and when they finished the show, it was complete. They diverged completely from the actual books, according to the people who read Martin, than the show. So that now you have two different worlds. This is what happens. Tammy says I got rid of my Wheel of Time books. Yeah, because it's different. It's like two different. It's two different authors, so it's two different series in a way. For sure. Yeah. And that's what happens. So you read the books. Here's the thing, and again, this one is a real, and we got like our 5 minutes, so let's get it. This is a real point of contention between readers and authors, right? You have authors who say, we don't owe the readers anything. This is our creative endeavor, and we're gonna do what we're gonna do, and we're gonna do it on our timetable. And then you have, hey John, welcome. Then you have readers who say, well, I'm investing in your creativity, and it's not fair for you to make me wait years and years and years and years for your creativity. So there's two camps there, right? And so I'm more along the lines of, if I'm asking you to come along with me on this adventure, it's kind of my responsibility to make it so that you can actually follow the adventure without having to wait an eternity between books, you know? So it varies. It varies from author to author. Some authors are like, I don't need to write books. If you wait as long as you have to wait. And then some authors are like, no. We need to write the books because the readers are expecting this. They're invested in the characters. You know. So I'm more in the second camp where the readers are want to know what's happening. And so yeah, you kind of have to be there for the readers. Let's see, what do I think of the new Dune movie coming out? I don't know, I haven't seen it. I've seen trailers. Again, I have in my mind a completely different image of Dune and the spice and the worms and the planet and the world building. We'll see what happens. It's always hard to get a book and make it a movie because everyone has a different image of what the book is in their mind. Yes, I do. Yeah, like Chris said, you feel obligated to your readers. You do. As an author, you feel obligated to your readers. And if you're a reader, and you should be if you're an author, you know what your readers are feeling. Darren, welcome. I make you wait. Malcolm says I make you wait. Yes, I do. But I don't make you wait inordinately so. I make you wait because I'm writing it. That's the thing. I don't make you wait because I want to do something else. Like, let's take the case of Sepia Blue. Monty Strong intersected the trajectory of Sepia Blue, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to write Sepia Blue. It means I had to get Monty Strong really established, but I am going to finish Sepia Blue. I just apologize profusely to the Sepia Blue readers. Silverheart says, personally, I love how Sanderson wrote the final book. So, see, everyone has, yeah, and that's the great thing about writing and art. It's subjective. Like, some people love it, and some people be like, oh, it's not like Robert Jordan at all. And so you'll have different people who, and that's what makes it awesome. Tammy says soon, TM. Yeah, I try not to make you wait too long. Like Dark Glass, or if I know it's gonna be like a cliffhanger, like the Rule of the Council, I warn you guys ahead of time. I'll tell you guys, listen, this is gonna be cliffhanger story, like Cliffhanger City, or as it's called, a Hill Hugger. But it's gonna be rough. But I released those 3 as fast as I could. I got those 3 out quick because I knew they were cliffhangers. Dark Glass, not really a cliffhanger. It kind of leaves you like, okay, what's next? But not like, what's next? Oh my God, you got to tell me right now. It's more like, okay, I can't wait to see what happens next. It's different. So I try not to write. And I've always said that the only book that I've really done that was Blood is Thicker, where the ending on that book the original ending on that book nearly got me hurt, physically hurt from the readers, because when they read the original ending, they were like, there's no way you can do this to us. You better change this ending. And fortunately, I'm surrounded by awesome mods and awesome readers who were very honest and said, you can't do this. It's too much of a cliffhanger. And so yeah, and and I dialed it back a lot. Cynthia says a lot of people seem to think that he ended it that way because he wanted to, but Jonathan Kobe, yes, he left a lot of notes and he left a lot of outline material from what I understand. So it was easier for Sanderson to go the way to go kind of in the direction of where it needed to go. But again, it's still not the same as Jordan writing it. Welcome back, Mark. Or in case this is your first, I don't think you were here before. So did you leave and came back? So hi, Mark. In Grimm's defense, he has apologized repeatedly for the wait. He has had serious writer's block and says he doesn't want to just rush out something substandard. His readers deserve the best. Totally understood. And, you know, I guess it could happen. But the thing is that he's now gone off and started writing prequels. And that's what's angering the writers, I think. And it's, the case with Patrick Rothfuss is that he's gone out and started doing other things. And that's what's angering the readers. I'm sorry. Yeah, see, I don't think Robert Jordan had a choice there, Tammy. Tammy's, I'm pissed at Robert Jordan for dying. I was in high school and it was devastating. Most of my friends were books, so I'm not reading the books. And I can totally understand that because for a lot of people, you get so invested in that world that you're losing someone, you know? And so it's rough. It's hard. And so that's why, yeah, you're not going to read the books because Robert Jordan didn't write them. Malcolm says we have different opinions. There's DG. I need the next one now. Yeah. So yeah. So Patricia says yeah. The prequels are definitely annoying. I haven't read them, so I don't know. But I can't speak to that. But there you go. So okay, guys, we're gonna wrap this up because oh wow, it's like oh man, 12:40. So yeah, we're right on time. Awesome. So yeah, so Grimm is writing prequels, and what readers are saying is, why is he writing prequels when he should be finishing the series? He should be reading the original series. Like times, and you know these things happen. Dolly questions. Yes, don't forget your Dolly questions, guys. How does Dolly cope when you get like a bear with a sore head over a plot? I don't know. You want to ask her? How do you get when I get like a bear? She doesn't know. You need to clarify. I don't get like a bear with a sore head over a plot. I work the plot thorns that I have, or the plot knots that I have. I work them out pretty quietly. Yeah, Martin. A lot of people. Martin got too involved in the TV series. That's for sure. Yes, and that was what happened. The series passed him, and I think he got a little bit caught up in the notoriety as well. Cynthia asks for Dolly, Sinatra and ZAZZLE stuff in the works. Oh, you should create some Sinatra and ZAZZLE stuff. I got an energetic yes nod. So yes, Sinatra and ZAZZLE stuff. There's one Sinatra piece, which is a Pontiac GTO's shirt of the goat. That's the only piece I think that's there. But Dolly can definitely do other Sinatra stuff. We got Lamborghinis and other cars, the Aventador, and we've got a lot of Sinatra and stuff that she can, and stuff that she can create. Doesn't have to be stuff she can put stuff from in the books, in the swag that could be Sinatra and stuff. It's transportation stuff because Cynthia drives a bus, so that would be awesome. Tabby says, Dolly sets the Valkyries on him for entertainment. Yes, that's how she deals with when I become a bear with thorny plot problems. Ryan wants to know, where do you get your own plush Peaches? Would make a great Xmas gift. I went into this a few episodes back. The plush Peaches are handmade, so they're really pricey. And the person who's making them right now with COVID, she's going really, really slow. And trust me when I tell you they're pricey. And I know they would make a great Christmas gift, but I cannot in good conscience say go get one at this price because it's really, really, really pricey right now. Which is why I only get like 1 or 2 or 3 made, and one has been appropriated by the youngest Valkyrie. So once we can get them affordable, a little bit more affordable, then we'll start releasing where we can get them out to you guys. Davina still wants a Peaches. Yeah, okay. And Peaches extra, extra, extra large. Yeah, sure. All right. Larry asks, what is Dolly's Anvil budget? I think you mean annual budget for dealing with you. I don't know what that means, Anvil budget. unless she has to pound on an anvil for dealing with me pre-caffeine. I'm actually very easygoing pre-caffeine. I get up at 4 something in the morning and train pre-caffeine. So I manage it really well. And my caffeine, my actual Death Wish cups last me like 2 days sometimes. Ryan goes, but I want my own Hellhound peaches. Eventually everyone's gonna have one. Don't worry, Ryan. A life-size peach is a Cane Corso, if you want to actually know the breed. They too are pretty pricey, and they need space because they grow up into big dogs. They belong to the Mastiff family. Those are big dogs. If you wanted to get a life-size peaches, a real peaches, they're beautiful dogs, but they need space, and it's an expensive breed, the Cane Corso, and it's hard. You got to get it from a breeder. They're really, really hard to get in the States. There's only a few places in the States that breed them, reputable places that breed them. Okay, we're gonna wrap this up, guys, and as always, this has been a fantastic show. This is episode 34 of our Mob TV Cafe Clutch, and yes, Malcolm, and feeding them is even pricier. Yes, because they have to eat the right kind of foods, and the bigger dogs you have to deal with hip dysplasia and things like that. So you have to really be careful what you feed them. So we're gonna wrap it up. I want you guys to have a fantastic weekend. If you're going out, wear your mask, be safe, and be excellent. Do you want to say bye?
Bye.
That's our saying bye. And take care, everyone. Have a great weekend. Bye.